What's going on, folks? Derick G here from the Bloody Water Podcast, and we got a little bit of news that we need to cover in the Newswire today. Not breaking news by any stretch of the imagination, but this is something you want to pay attention to at the pinnacles of the MMA community, especially when we're talking about the UFC. So I'm going to jump straight into the article. What we have here is end of a cycle. Amanda Nunes leaves American Top Team to found her own team. This is an article from Combate, and I do want to give you a heads up. This is from ge.globo.com, and this was originally in Portuguese, and I've translated it on over to English. But that's basically the main thing from the headline that we need to jump into immediately. Amanda Nunes leaving American Top Team. Now, in my opinion, I wanted to make this video because there's three options that kind of come from this result if this is indeed a true article. Option number one, Amanda Nunes is taking the Deontay Wilder approach, the lack of accountability approach, and is blaming her loss to Juliana Pena at UFC 269 on her team, on her coaches, on her training partners, things of that nature. And I have another article that I wanted to pull up really fast just because this is what it reminded me of right here. You know, Deontay Wilder accuses Mark Breland, who was in his corner at the time, of spiking his water before the Tyson Fury loss, accused the ex-coach of betraying him, all that good stuff. And when you really go down and you start reading it, it's crazy the accusations that are made from Deontay Wilder in his loss to Tyson Fury. And that was in the first fight, I believe, maybe not the rematch, something like that. That's neither here nor there. The point is, you definitely don't want to take that approach if you're a fighter, if you're at the pinnacle of your game, because we saw from Deontay Wilder that has kind of led to a little bit of a downfall in his career. Now, obviously, he's been fighting the best of the best, so it's not like you're really taking too much of a drop off. But nonetheless, if you want to maintain that GOAT status, if you're Amanda Nunes and you've already found yourself around a group of people who have elevated you to the highest pinnacle of your sport, you might not want to leave that organization to go found your own new gym and have potentially yes men around you. So that's basically option number one. Amanda Nunes not taking that approach of accountability and all that. Option number two, though, which is still something in the realm of possibility, is that she has decided there's a little bit of complacency taking place at American Top Team, for her at least. If we look at the article again, it is interesting because we do note that Amanda Nunes started training at ATT at the age of 33 after her loss against Kat Zingano back in 2014. So if you think about it, that's about 8 years of training at the same gym. So after a while, you could say, man, it is a little complacent. Maybe the people around me, they're focusing on me, but they're not giving me specifically what I need, and I want to take a little more control. However, that is something of note that people are saying that might not be the best idea either, right? You don't ever want to, as the fighter, be in control of your fight count, people, because that is what you're paying these other people for, trusted people, smarter people than you, to put yourself in a position to where you can win these fights, to where you can win these championships. But then again, if you are a double champion, or were a double champion like Amanda Nunes, if you were considered the greatest of all time, as a bantamweight, featherweight, double champ, whatever you want to call it, you know, that's still up for discussion. But if you were basically the GOAT, the female GOAT in the UFC, it's kind of hard to sit there and say that you might not know what's best for yourself either. I'm just putting that out there. But there is a third option that remains here, and this is something that I think is kind of interesting, and it sets up something for the UFC that everybody would benefit from, in my opinion. And this third option is Kayla Harrison making her UFC debut. Now, obviously, they both train at American Top Team. They both have been training partners before. There has been rumors for a long time at this point about a Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison matchup. But this would just make it a little bit easier if Amanda Nunes left ATT, went to her own gym. Now they can create the narrative. You know, the UFC loves to do it, create their own narrative, hype it up, try to market it a little bit, and then set up a mega massive fight between Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison for maybe the featherweight belt or something like that to keep that division alive. Because honestly, if Amanda Nunes retires, that's basically it. And I guess that's option number four, though. Amanda Nunes could say, I'm going to set up my own gym. I can see the writing on the wall. I'm going to kind of make my way out. Obviously, she's going to get that rematch with Juliana Pena, but it's no shoo-in at this point that she is going to win. Obviously, with Juliana Pena having the biggest upset of 2021 and possibly of, the biggest upset in the UFC's history, it is something that we definitely need to keep an eye on. So once again, let me just look back at the article, and basically this was the main component that I'm talking about right here. It's just saying that Amanda Nunes saying she's still going to found her own team in Florida. She's still going to make that her headquarters. Nothing really is changing except she's not going to be at ATT any longer. Everything else in the article is just talking about kind of the history of Amanda Nunes and stuff like that. So I will have the article linked below, but nonetheless, I have one last tab And this is Reddit, the good old folks over Reddit. I was just reading some of the comments and I was like, it's kind of interesting. But, you see a couple of people saying maybe this is her end game. She put in the miles. Maybe this is a way to take a step back. Fighters taking control of their own camps is always a recipe for a disaster. This is a terrible move, da-da-da-da-da. A lot of people are talking about how it's basically a mistake that Amanda Nunes is doing it. Obviously, we don't have enough details to really say definitively whether this is a mistake, whether this is a good move, or whether this is true whatsoever. But this is something that I thought was really interesting. And folks, I would love to hear your opinion on it. So let us know in the comments below what you think about Amanda Nunes' move over to move away from American Top Team, and move on over to, her own gym. And this is something that's interesting. It's a new development in a fighter's career. And I think that this is only being highlighted the way that it is because it's Amanda Nunes, literally one of the most popular figures in the sport of combat, in combat sports in general, but especially in the UFC. And she wants that belt back. She says she's not going to go out unbalanced, so it's something to keep an eye on. Folks, drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will catch you Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Bloody Water Podcast. You know what time it is. Until next time, folks. Peace.